Hey folks, I'm Alan. This is the first video that I'm going to make in a series of live coding exercises where I build myself a kind of local host tool server. I've got an existing tools page up here at tools.alanwsmith.com that has some search boxes, line deduper, markdown list maker, Fahrenheit things, etc. Like it's just got a bunch of tools on it. It's all static though. What I want to make is a dynamic one that I can build APIs off of and use for things that I host data internally and put them on my website, etc. Bookmarks, quotes, video reviews, etc. So I've got a bunch of ideas for stuff that I want to play with, but I really only have two requirements for the tool. First one is I want a single binary file so I can just like launch it and have it go and have it be fine. The second part is I don't want to have any database, external database software requirement. So everything's going to be done with either flat files or through SQLite. With that out of the way, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually start all the way from scratch, right? We're going to go make a new repo, and this is going to be called Toolshed for now. We'll see if that name sticks. My personal Toolshed. Public's fine. Template, no. We will add a README, and we'll add an MIT license to it. Create repo. All right. And we'll grab the code, or grab the repo. So git clone, boom. Pull that down, go into Toolshed. Whoops. Toolshed, there we go. And then let's do git, actually let's do this to start with. Tmux, just start a Tmux file here. I'm gonna make a couple different rows here, which are kind of my standard things, whether or not we need them with TBD. But this is just kind of the process that I walk through when I'm setting stuff up. So I want this to be here. Next thing we'll do is go git, checkout, be dev to get us on the dev branch. If I clear that, it should be on the dev branch. Cool. Okay. So let's just clear that. I just want to see it say dev over there too. And then this one, sure, why not? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull Firefox up there just to have it. We're not really going to use that yet, but it'll just put something on that side of the screen for now. Yeah, fine. Let's go with cargo init. And then I'm going to end up using, like I've built a bunch of static site servers and things like that, static site generators and things like that. So I've got a bunch of existing code that I'm going to be able to like use some of it straight copy and paste, some of it just as reference to pull in. But we'll just kind of get started with this and roll from here. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to open this in NeoVim for me. You know what? I'm actually going to get rid of these side ones just to get every piece of width that we can have since we're on a small screen. Cool. Okay, cool. So I've got an Axum thing in here. Let me go pull up another server that I've been messing with. So this is in Simple Site Builder, LS. And if I do this, let me go find this server here and we'll see what's in it. So I'm using Axum and this will be, I'm going to make that just the tiniest bit smaller, maybe. There we go. I'm using Axum, which is a Rust web server, to run stuff. So I'm going to copy and paste a whole bunch of this stuff slowly but surely as we move it over. We do know a couple things that we're going to need here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the cargo toml for the requirements here. And we're going to pull these a little bit at a time. So anyhow, we're going to want, let's do this back. Nope. Go to our cart. Whoops, that's not the right one. Here we go. So dependencies. We want anyhow. We definitely want Axum. Chrono, I'm not going to use yet. Clear screen, I'm not going to use that. Markdown, I'm not going to use yet. Minigenja, not going to use yet. To template engine port check, we do want to use. Pretty assertions, we'll add, which is for testing. regex, not sure. RS test, not really yet. Serde, probably we're gonna want. Syntax highlighting Tokyo, we're definitely gonna want. Tower stuff we're gonna want, and reload stuff we're gonna want, or sorry, logging stuff we're gonna want. And watch exec, we're not gonna be using any of that stuff right now. I'm gonna run those off because there's not really gonna be documentation for this, so we can turn that off. So cool. Now if I close this, and we go, oh, you know, the other thing I want to do is this. Let me make this back again, and I want to do a start watcher script. Do a dash start watcher. And then we should be able to come over here, and I think I have this one here. This is basically just a script that I use to start. It runs tests first with any test that has the word solo in it. Then it runs all the tests. If the solo test passed, then all the tests run. And then it runs Clippy, and then it runs the thing. So we're not really using test yet, but this is just my kind of standard tool to run tests, etc., and like get everything up and running. So we want to make that this start watcher, and then now if I come down here and I start watcher, that should run. Can't find library toolshed. Error, failed to parse manifest. Cannot find library toolshed in lib. Man. What? I'm already confused. That shouldn't have messed with anything. Failed to parse manifest. Rename file source lib. I thought that would kick off on main. I'm super confused. Okay, so first hurdle. Let's go here. Let's go to the desktop. This is starting off funnier than I had imagined. And let's do make dir temp rust, temp rust, and then cargo init. What am I missing? Cargo run. That should just work, right? Yeah, that works. Hello world. Okay, so why doesn't this work? Off to an auspicious start, but hey, that's what happens. Let me just get rid of that. That shouldn't matter. None of this stuff. Oh, now it's working. I do not understand what happened there. That lib. Oh, maybe that lib call was in there. That was it. Okay. Don't do that. Understood. Doesn't have a library. I think I see what happened. I learned a new thing today. Sweet. So we can get rid of that. Clear. It's fine. CD. Let's get rid of this. Actually, I'm starting to use the word trash now for removing stuff. So instead of doing RMRF, it actually throws it in. I'm running a Mac and it throws it into the trash can, which is I kind of like instead of just like completely nuking. But here we go. We've got our basic hello world running. So if we look at main RS, there's our hello world. Sweet. Now what we're going to do is go back here to simple site builder, workshop, simple site builder, ls. And open this back up. All right, so here's we're going to run this for the main. And then for results, so we want to do use anyhow results. Because we're going to use anyhow for results, which will let this pass now. And then here we're going to print hello world, and then we need to do okay. That. So that should run again. We should still see hello world, but everything should go. Sweet. So there's our basic framework. It's at our hello world. Let's just do that so we can make sure we're seeing change. There's XXX hello world. Sweet. Okay, so let's get Axum running. And the way we want to do that, so all this guard stuff is for logging. I don't want to mess with that yet. We're just going to work on getting Axum to run. Live reload. Do I need live reload? Because if I do live reload, we've got to set up a watcher and all this other stuff. I don't think I'm going to mess with that yet. Because most of the interaction is going to be me messing with it. I'm going to end up doing that, but we're going to start without that. Okay, so server handle, clone, server start. This is all other things here. So let me pull this up and see what server looks like in here. You know what I could do? I could do this. Nope, I can't. That's the wrong window. Try this. I gotta get a little more space going. So live reload, server, service, app router. You know what we're gonna do actually is we're gonna go to the Axum docs. Axum. Like I could copy and paste a bunch of that stuff because I'm doing it slightly differently. We're just gonna go straight back to the docs. Axum Rust. And we'll make this a little bit bigger so you can read it. Axum Rust. So here's the basic setup. All the documentation. Font got small again. Hello world of Axum. So we want to do Tokyo main, so we've got this. And we're going to get a route. And then we're going to do this listener on port 3000. So we should just be able to copy and paste all this from the docs. And then so what should happen, should not get here, is when we hit this Axum serve, the process should just stop moving right there. Eventually we may kick that out to a different thing, but for now it's gonna be fine. So we need to add these in. I actually really like this example because it's showing me the use cases or the use lines that I need to add in there. And let's put this on a slightly different port, which is gonna be, I don't know, 3535, save, just because I think I already have stuff running on port 3000. But now, if we go to Firefox and we go to localhost and we go to port 3535, there's our hello world. So that's getting an Axum server running. That's all it takes. Really all I needed at this point was this anyhow and Axum. I'm using anyhow for the errors here, just makes it a little easier to handle. But there's your hello world. Like that is now a live running web server. Ta-da. Which is super cool. And that's one of the things that I'm really enjoying about this idea is I've built this type of server several times in the past using like lamp stacks and mamp stacks and different things. But like all the work to get it basically set up was just kind of a pain. And like also there was like, I was doing a thing where like on a lamp stack, there was, an Apache server or an Nginx server. And then the database was like a separate database. And then you had to like wire everything together. And now it's just like, go, a couple lines of code, you're up and running. The good news is with this, it's only going to be local. So I'm going to put like basic auth in front of it for security stuff, but I don't have to worry about HTTPS or like TLS certificates or whatever the security certificates are or whatever, because it's all only ever going to be running on my machine. I'll block the IP address so it can just get on my machine. Like I'll do some amount of security stuff, but this isn't something that I'm deploying out. My existing tool server is out, but it's really just a static page that's available. This one is only going to be internal and just sitting on my machine. So the security, risk envelope is much smaller, or however you say that. But yeah, so we didn't get to this line because the server basically catches it here. But what should happen is if I do this and I say starting and hit save, that should reload and we should see the word starting happen, right? Because that happens prior to everything launching. Right now we're in this Axum, which like works as a loop. Okay, cool. So Now we just, I mean, really what this is adding routes to the server that do the specific things that I want to have it do. There's not a tremendous amount to it. It's kind of like Python's Flask, where the server just sits up and running, and then you just add functions or handlers or whatever it's called to it, and then you're cool. You're good to go. So router is used to set up which paths go to which services. So we're going to do route to get root, which calls one of those handlers. Cool. So let's go ahead and run that. So here's route / and then get, we're just passing it a, oh, you know what else we can do here is add a .rust fmt.toml and then rust fmt. I think I have this here in my notes. Yeah. So I should be able to grab that, paste that in here, do that. Close that. And if I save this, there we go. So now we can see all the stuff on the screen. Cool. So yeah, this is actually just going, like right now we're doing the same get thing that's called here. It's just we're actually sending it a closure, maybe is what that's called. Like an anonymous function, basically. So now what we want to do is actually make it its own thing. So we're going to do that like this. We're going to do async async function. I just did root, right? Yeah, root. And what I should be able to do, I guess I just have to do this as a string. Hello function to string. And then here, we're going to keep that line for a second and then go get, how this work? It just calls it, so inside get, it does this. Oh, here's where we want hot reload. There's get function. Okay, we are going to add hot reload because we definitely want to have that happen. And then we're back to the size 2 because we want to be able to actually see stuff happening. Cool. All right. Let's get hot reload. Before we do that, let's do this. I'm going to make another line here. Nah, it's fine. Quit. We're going to go get add dot get commit m added initial Axum server. Hello world. And the other thing I'm going to do is we're going to pull this over, add existing repository, and go look for our workshop. And then we're going to go, what are we calling this? Toolshed? PQRST toolshed. Open. Add repo. There we go. So now I can just do that slightly easier. All right, so we've got hello world in there. Now we want to add our live reload. Let me pull this up for a second. So I'm going to go back in here. We're going to close that. We're going to go Rust. Oh, wait, I have a different. So in my Rust grimoire, which is where I'm just kind of making examples of Rust things, I think I have an example. Files, link, log to file, tower LSP did save, test, static site builder scaffold. I thought I had an example with just the live reloader in it, but I don't see that. So Rust live reload. Let's see. Run web server, watch content, dir live reload. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's just in this post. This code is old. This is old code. Tari Axeman bed. Oh, that's Tari stuff. All right, we're just gonna run it this way and look at our existing stuff then. So let's go back to workshop, simple site builder, ls, and we're gonna go back into NV here. And we do want to keep that for a second. We want to go look at source, bin, SSB. Here's our log. Here's our live reload. So we do want to have the live reload stuff in here. Let's go look at cargo. Cool. And the reason I'm not doing like a cargo add on this is because some of these crates have extra features in them, and I don't remember which ones are which. So I'm just like this one. So Tower HTTP, it needs to have the SF one. So I'm just copying and pasting right now. Versions are going to be fine. I just did this a little while ago. It'll be fine. So here we want to go to, oh, we already did it. Okay, cool. So it's already there. Close this. It's fine. So when I do live reloader, oh, we're going to need this stuff. So we need Chrono in order to do this. So this goes down over an MPSC channel in Tokyo. Multi-producer single client, I think is what that means. So basically it's a way for the different aspects of Tokyo to talk to each other, or the different things. I'm losing the words right now, but basically what happens is the watcher has to run on one thread or one process. I actually don't know what the proper terminology is. And then the web server runs on another one. And then the MPSC is what you use to communicate from one to the other. And that's what this code is doing right here. So we're going to make a live reloader, and then paste this over here. Close that. That should be fine for a second. We're going to need to add Chrono in a second. That is definitely the wrong thing. What was that? What did that say, Tari? Source, main, app router. Okay, here we go. So let's get live reload running. So this wants live reload, which is going to be use tower live reload layer. And then this is the Chrono stuff. Here's the MPSC thing. So let's get that working first. And that's coming off this Tokyo Sync MPSC. So we're going to add that. Oops. And then now we need date time. That is off of Chrono. So we're going to need to add Chrono, which is the date time goodness from Rust. So let's go on cargo. Let's go here. ABC, Chrono, save. Close that. MPSC. And then here we want to go back and we're going to add Chrono, date, time, and local. And so basically what I'm doing here is when you send over, when you send messages, you kind of have to send a payload. So the payload that I'm sending is just a timestamp. That can be useful for, like, you got to send something. You could just send like a binary bit or whatever. I could send the file that actually changed. There's a couple of things that you could do, but I found that just sending a timestamp was nice in one of my other runs, because what it let me do is, like, if multiple signals get sent while the web server is rebuilding, for example, if you're doing a static site, you can compare the timestamps, and then if you've built one and you get another timestamp coming in, you can basically compare them and say, like, okay, we don't need to do this other one yet because this other one came through or whatever. If it's within a half second or 2 seconds or whatever, you can set a delta in there. Not really going to need that right now, but, like, got to send something so this code works, and we're going to run with it. So that gives us a reloader, and that gives us the transmit. So these two handles basically let us send the parts that we need to have talk to each other to the individual, I think, threads. which we'll do here momentarily. Let's look at this now. So I set up a server when I did this, and I might just start with basically the same thing. So let's look through this code a little bit. And by the way that I'm kind of considering this is like, I've got all this code. This is not that different from going and looking at examples on the web. It just happens to be that I wrote the examples and they're just sitting on my machine and known good code because I use it and it runs. So here's what we want to do. I'm not going to worry about getting the port yet. I'm not going to worry about launching the browser yet. So this is the service, servdir, which comes from this. So I don't want to, this is the other thing. So servdir from Tower HTTP lets you basically point to a directory of files. Do I want that? Not yet. We're only going to build the stuff that we want when we want it. And I don't have plans right now to basically be able to serve up a directory of files as something that I want to go look at through this tool. Like everything is basically to be like, go to an address, get a form, fill in the form, post the form, and save some data somewhere. Like that's all the first things. So I don't need that, which is a layer, which is how Axum and Tower basically stack things together to do processes. So the service layer, live reload layer. Okay, we're gonna do a similar thing here, which is I want the structure to kind of be the same. So I'm gonna make a new directory here, server. I'm gonna do mod.rs. And then here, this is just in mod.rs, right? Yeah, mod.rs. Okay, cool. So do I want to, I might as well make it a struct. I might as well do it the same way that we did this, right? That just makes it a little easier to deal with. Yeah, I kind of like this approach. So back in here, we're going to do pub struct server. I'm not going to do anything with it yet. Impl server. And then over here, we're probably doing server new. Yeah, pub function new. Okay, so pub function new. And that's going to return a server, which is going to be server. CRVER, right? Does that work? Does that compile? Oh, we got to add this. So in here, we need to do lib.rs, lib.rs. Is that right? Am I doing this right? That seems like it's in the wrong place. What's happening there? Source librs, pub mod server, save. Does that show up now? There we go, server. Okay, cool. So there's probably warnings coming across that that's unused. Yeah, that's probably what all that stuff. And there's a bunch of stuff that's unused. We'll clip those for a second, just putting underscore in front of them so that they're not yelling at us, even though we can't see them at the moment. Oh, you know what we could do? Oh, actually, there's a way to do this, but I don't know how to do it. But what I'm going to do right now is this. Exit that. Stop that. I'm going to make another. Nope, wrong way. There we go. So while we're working on just the server, I'm going to open this up, pull this over here, and pull this down here. NV. Server, mod, main, whatever, mod, it's fine. And then over here, we can actually do our start watcher. This will just let us see a little bit more of what's happening instead of just having the notes down there. So here's all the things it doesn't like. Warnings, doc test, toolshed, that's fine. Cool. Okay, the other thing that is nice about this start watcher is this -C in front of it clears the screen every time before it actually starts. If you don't do that when you scroll up, you may scroll back to prior runs of the thing. The -C is really nice because it like only like if you run it 10 different times, there's only the most recent run in here that you can scroll up to. Everything else gets cleared out, which is super handy because otherwise, in the past, I've scrolled way back and looked at the wrong test and the wrong results. Let's see. So what does it say? On by default, trying this. Server function new. Self new. Oh, interesting. You should consider adding a default implementation for server. Okay, do that. Pub new, and so this is going to be function default self new. I don't totally know how that works. I mean, I kind of do. You call default on it, and I guess self is calling this, and it's doing self new there, which is calling this. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Never done that before. See if that makes Clippy happier. Default is never used. Correct. Whatever. Okay, it's fine. Let's get back over here for a second and see what we're doing here. So we want to pass in the live reload layer to start. So let's make a function here. And this goes inside the implementation of server, right? Yeah. So here, I'm going to do them alphabetically. And this needs to be pub async function is the thing here. Pub async function start. And then we want to pass in self and live reloader. So self live reloader, which is going to be a live reload layer, I think. And that is going to return what? Just a result. So I'm going to put an OK down here for now just to get us going. That's going to crash out because we don't have anyhow in here. So use anyhow result. Save that. Live reloader. This may actually compile, right? Because we're not actually using this yet. Okay. So now let's go take a look at. We'll end up doing this start just to get us going. And that's where we'll actually put in the live reload so we can actually change, like fire stuff on changes when changes happen. Oh, but how is that going to see? How's that going to know when things change? Because we're not doing file-based stuff. We may have to do something different here. We're going to want the live reload regardless. I just realized I don't know how it's going to be used this particular way yet. So here, the way that we were using this originally, right? We start a server new. So let's add a server new over here. So this is in our mod. Nope. This is in our main. When we get down here, we want to do let ser server equals server new. And that's going to yell because we don't have use toolshed server. That should go just with warnings that we're not using server yet. Okay. And now we can actually go fire this over. And this is where we're making the Tokyo spawn. So this is spawning the different processes. And we're going to do this same thing. So I'm going to type a bunch of this just to get it in my hands a little bit, but let server handle equals Tokyo spawn. That's the wrong one. Yeah, so there's a thing out there. So async move. And then that goes into this. And so the move moves The move moves the values, basically, like in the memory. Like you have to like, you can't access stuff after it's been moved. You have to like clone stuff and move it around. I don't have to deal with that too much here because I'm not doing too much stuff with it. But this live reloader, for example, if we needed to have it in a different place, would also have to like move to a different place. Now, wait a minute. Why? Oh yeah, live reloader. That can actually just be passed. Okay, cool. So let's do and there's probably a better way to do this. I'm not totally sure, but let that equal server start. And we're not actually passing anything to that yet. And then we just do await because it's an async function. Whoops. Oh no, I gotta pass live reloader to it. Live reload. Live reloader. And we made it angry. Live reloader, live reloader, live reloader, save. How about now? It's compiling, cool. I think it still should be working, right? Hello function, yeah. Okay, so if we go just to see hello function, save, we run that, refresh. Nope. I stand correct. Oh, there it is. Okay. Cool. 35. All right. So now what we want to do is we're calling over and we're doing our start. But we're not actually doing, like, everything's actually happening still in this thing. We're not actually using that function yet. Because really what we want to do is take all this out and put it here. And then we have to pull the Axum stuff back in. Also, I'm going to do one thing here that allow unused. Because I kind of fling stuff back and forth sometimes. Whoa, hello. That's one too many by 6. I'll end up copying and pasting a bunch of those things around, and I don't want to have to necessarily like make sure I'm moving all the right ones in the right places, etc. So I'm just ignoring those warnings if we call a function or if we call a crate that's not actually being used. I'm going to ignore that for now. We'll clean it up when we're done. But for the moment, no. Okay, and then we actually need to have our function needs to be in there as well. Probably these will end up being moved into their own things at some point. But if we do this, compiles, we'll make this LO function. We'll just run back to Firefox and, oh, interesting. Oh. Because we're passing that handle, I'm going to get rid of this though. I wanted us to put that in, but now it's give us a warning on it, so it's going to go away. Here, I need to do this. Wait a minute. This is a builder. Oh, actually, I don't. So this is my static site builder, one of my static site builders. And it has 3 parts: a server, a builder, and a watcher. And so the server is the web server, the builder is what builds the site, and the watcher is what watches for changes. But I'm not sending changes. So we've got the live reloader, and then the reloader, which goes into the builder, which gets pinged when this calls. I'm back to I might not use this. I thought I was going to, no, I do want to have it, right? Because we want to be able to update the pages. Okay. So we just got to point it to the right place. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So live reloader's coming in. Async await server. Why now? Got a couple other things there. Let's get rid of that one. That one needs to stay, but we can detach that, get rid of that. What is that? Don't know. Are these both the same thing? Stand by. Simple site builder. Simple site builder. Okay, we got two of the same things open. Okay, cool. Now there's just the two windows. Easier to deal with. So let's see if, and by the way, this is what I mean about live coding. Like I know kind of what I want to do, but this is definitely going to be an experiment, or not an experiment, but this is going to be the process of me figuring out while I'm going. So this is literally the development process. It's not a already planned and I'm just straight doing everything directly from notes. We're using notes, but those are not the final thing. So here, we do want to do this. So watcher, I just need to set the watcher. How important is that? I'm going to back it out. Because actually, you know what? We're going to do this. You're fine. How do you get reset hard? Get reset dash dash hard? I haven't done this in years. Hello function. Yeah, I'm going to back all that stuff out. Server mod. Oh, wait, maybe I'm not. Get status. Gotcha. Okay, so NV, let's get rid of these. And trash, yes, go. Save. That's still gonna work, right? Yeah. Yeah, because like it's just gonna be the page. This is way less code. And it works, right? So if we do LO function again. It's refreshing, there's LO function. Yeah, because most of the time I'm not going to be, like when I'm doing back and forth work on this, I'm going to need to actually interact with the pages. Like it's not like refreshing a blog where I'm just editing content and having it go. Like I'm going to be making changes to the way that the thing actually functions. And I'm going to want to hit Control R to make that happen. Probably most of the time. Like I'm going to need to like set stuff up or do whatever. Okay, so cool. Welcome to Dev. All that stuff just went away because we don't need it. All right, let's do, so I think that actually means we can do this. So route. So if this is just my tools server, get post. Oh, get and post. Oh, so you can post a foo. Interesting. Handlers. Extractors. See handlers for more detail. String handler. You can do bytes. I'm not really worried about any of this stuff. Again, this is just like, I just need this to work on my machine. So are we really just as simple as, so this will just be whatever. Hello tools. You know what we can do? Okay, I do know one thing we do want to do is you can return HTML. So if I look here and I go to server, we want to return. I'm just going to yoink this as the missing page. We're going to put this down here in a second. Return missing page. And this is HTML. So let's pull this. Where is HTML? Oh, here we go. Axum response HTML. And then really what we want to do is do root. Do that. If I come over here and refresh, page not found. The page is actually found, right? This is homepage. Save. Refresh. Homepage. Yeah, so that's how we actually just return an HTML payload. And that so like originally we were doing a string, which is just coming back as like text, plain text, I think. This is going to be coming back as like type HTML or whatever the MIME type is for it that's proper. So that is cool. Now what we can do is just add some pages in. Let's do this though. Returning an HTML thing. I don't know. So let's go here and let's do this. Where do we want to put these things? So this is in source. Templates. Homepage HTML. And then we'll just yoink all this. Whatever, we'll do it in H1. H1. Body. Oh, that was wrong. That's funny. Save that. Style background black. That's cool. It's fine. So here is this. That looks like HTML. My HTML formatter is not working because, or it's turned off because these Jinja templates and like it's fighting with them right now. So there we go. Now what we want to do is use that instead. So Rust include a file as a string. So here is how we're going to do this. I think. Let content equals include string. And then hopefully templates, homepage HTML. And then here, ideally, we can just do content. Save. Looks like it worked. So now does this go to an H1? It does. Okay, cool. This is really like, this is pretty good. So there's our homepage. Now what we want to do is do what? What's the first thing that I want to pull in? It's going to be the question. Let's do just put it in a div. Actually, let's do unordered list, line item, href equals slash bookmark. So do we want to do, I don't really need a full like CRUD app here. This is just for making a new bookmark. New bookmark. New bookmark. Save. This is where I've got to manually hit refresh. I'm fine with that compared to the other stuff. Like we could set up a watcher to look at that templates. I have it in my head now. We could set up a watcher to watch that directory. So whenever we make changes and updates, I'm just going to hit Control R for right now. But this should fail. Right. Looks like there's a problem with the site. sent back error code 404 not found. Okay, so there's a 404. We can do a better 404 page, which why don't we do that? That is not found service, which is right here. There we go. So where's not found? Not found service, not found. Okay, so that just comes out of the box with servdir. So over here, we're going to go back to main RS. We're going to do async error code 404. This will be 404 HTML. We'll go make that file. We'll just yoink from here. And this is going to be page not found. Page not found. And we can do div. Actually, it's going to be a paragraph. Yeah, let's just do this. That just goes to slash. And here we can just do go back to the page. And then we need to use that. I can close that file. So error code 404 here, we're going to pull on serve. Oh, it's on servdir. Fallback service. Let's go look at 404 in here on Axum. Isn't there a cert? Yeah, there is. 404. Nope. Error. It's probably status. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Oh, it's got WebSockets too. That's cool. Multipart errors, invalid boundaries, invalid string rejection. Oh, these are extract multipart rejections. Where is handler service state? Get the reference to the state. Get the reference to the state. State. Oh, primary reference. Never mind. Let's look for error. Response, error handling. Axum's error handling. Okay, Axum is based on tower service, which bundles errors through its associated error type. If you have a service that produces an error, and error makes it all the way up to the hyper, the connection will be terminated without sending a response. Okay. This is status code. I may not mess with this right now. Applying valuable middleware. Layer. Service builder new. Layer timeout duration. So this is all about making the layer stuff. Like, you get to stack things however you want, but I don't have a layer in here. Rust, Axum, 404 page. Error handling, so we just were. Function herald, status code. Routing to fallible services. Thing that might fail. Router new route service. Handle error. New. I don't know. Axum. There's an Axum. Oh, this is a recent post. Is it AI crap? Oh, it looks like, well, could be a person. That looks like an AI headshot, though. Reject all. Setting up Axum. Introducing result-based error handling. Server, app, and server mixer. So wait, result, app error, error, app error. Where's that coming from? Oh, implementation. Into response for app error, app error. Okay, cool. Not found, status code. Root error. Handling multiple errors. That's just straight throwing a thing. You know what? It has default error handling. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Whatever, you're fine. What's that? Like, it actually throws me a 404. It would be cool to have a custom 404 page there. I'll deal with that at some other point. Right now, I just want to get like the thing going, right? We want to see some back and forth of the thing. So we're going to do that. Missing page. I'm just going to yoink that for, oh, wait, is that the right place? No, it's simple site builder. We want to leave that in. Close you for a second. Actually, we can leave you open. I will leave it closed. Whatever, it's fine. So I'm not going to worry about this. To do, add custom 44 page, 4040 page, save. New bookmark doesn't exist, homepage does. All right, let's get the new bookmark working. So here what we want to do is do async function new bookmark. New bookmark. And here we're going to do new bookmark HTML. I'll probably end up moving things around at some point. But for now, everything's just going in here. So this is going to be new bookmark. Bookmark. And then this is going to be that, save. Over here, what we want to do, we can close the 404 page. We can close the home page. So we have these two files open. Now we just want to add another route here. West Hummel. 46. I'm trying to get it so we can see all the stuff, but that goes there. So in our route, we just want to add a new route here, which is going to be route new bookmark get new bookmark, MARK, and we don't want to put those there. So refresh, new bookmark. Nope. Possibly if we go to the right place, new bookmark. Refresh, new bookmark. Cool. I'm going to yoink that for now. Starting to make new bookmark page. Starting to make new bookmark page. Yeah, I've never used Axum to receive stuff before. Like, I've never made like a dynamic aspect to it. So this is cool. Like, but it's going to end up being not a lot of code. Like, this is our entire function right now. And then here, where's our straight Axum page that we had? Why didn't that back up? You back up? Axum Rust, whatever. You go that way. Whatever we're going to do there. Why? It's funny. Really thought I could have backed up. Axum. Because this is doing post to post foo. See router for more details on routing. But it looks like we can just add the post and have it do a return for us. So let's figure out exactly how I want to do that. So this is going to be new bookmark post, which we actually won't return HTML here in a minute. The idea would be when you post, you do whatever. It'll redirect basically and give us a status. So this is going to be new bookmark post HTML. New bookmark temp post. Close that. We can get rid of rest format for now. Up here, wait, why is you angry? I think that's just hasn't cleared yet. Okay, cool. We want to do, where's our router? Get slash, and then this did get, and then after get, it did a post. So here it went dot post new bookmark post. We don't send that. Cool. So if we go look at our page again and we do form action dot method post form, and then we want to do input type equals input text name equals testing, value equals ping. Save that. If we go back here, we go to our new bookmark page. There's ping. There we go. So then we do input type equals submit, name, submit, value, submit. Which I think maybe you can just use a straight button for that now. But refresh, there's submit. Okay, so if I do that, looks like there's a problem. Error sent back. Method not allowed. Oh, that went to the home page though. Figured a new bookmark. What happens? Refresh, submit. New bookmark, temp post. There you go. Okay. So that's sending to our post, or that's catching the post. Then we can just add our handling there. So in our, that's going to go away. That's that. New bookmark post. Okay. How do we read? Probably in handlers, extractors. An extractor is a type that implements from request parts. Extractors are how you pick apart the incoming request to get the parts that your handler needs. Path gives you the path parameters. Query gives you the query parameters and deserializes them. We're not doing either one of those. We need post stuff. Buffer the request body and deserialize it into JSON. A handler function is an async function that takes any number of extractors as arguments. An extractor is a type that implements from request or from request parts. For example, JSON is an extractor that consumes the request body and deserializes it into JSON into some target type. Create user JSON router, post, create user. This goes to create user. Oh, and then here, I see. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to fill this in with something. Common extractors. Request, routing post. Path. Query. Header maps gives you all the headers. String, bytes. I'm kind of surprised. Gives you the query parameters. So I think query parameters to me are anything that comes after a question mark. Gives you all the headers. Consumes a request body and ensures it's valid UTF-8. Bytes, JSON. Post. Optional extractors. Form request parts. Some extractors implement optional form request parts and additional form request parts. An optional form, okay. Extract request. Gives you the whole request for maximum control. Path extension query. Let's look at what query gives us for a second. Common extractors applying. These are all the things, right? Structs. Request. What's in query? Extract query. If I do post, is there a request? I think they were just on, wasn't it? Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not using any AI with this. Possibly I could get to some fast stuff faster, etc. But this is the way that I do the things. At some point in the future, maybe I do AI. Not right now. I'd rather learn what I'm doing and understand it more. And I also don't want to have to, like, for me, I'm in writing mode. If I was looking at AI stuff, that would be reviewing mode. And I don't want to be in reviewing mode. I want to be in writing mode. Those two things switch in my head a little bit. So TBD if that stays true, but for now, it's where I'm headed. Extract query. Struct query. Example. Tuple fields. If the query string cannot be parsed, it'll be rejected before an. Yes, this is a query string. Extract and dealize the query strings. Yeah. So how do you get? I guess you just do request. From request. We want form request, not from request. These are all froms as far as I can tell. Let's see. So if we look at, I look for post here, right? Post. Method routing post. Method filter. There's not an extractor there. So I'm going to guess we got to go off request. HTTP request, whose body type defaults to body, the most common body type used with Axum. Builder. This is an extractor, right? What? Hang on. Extract request. post. Creates a new builder so of the post method. No, so this is making stuff. We don't want to make stuff from parts. Creates a new result with a given component of the parts of the body. Method post. Yeah, see, this is all making. We want to, those are the methods. We want to get to an Axmo extract multi-part. That's with file uploads, connection and path rejection. Where is from request? I don't understand what any of this stuff is yet. Types from requests. See Axmo extract for general extractor. See, how do we get to a post? Some commonly used extractors, a request. Let's just do this. Let's take a look at this for a second. Axmo extractors request is what we want to use. And let's do, for here, if we do dbg request, is that going to compile? Looks like it compiles. And if we bring this back over here for a second, oops, that just collapsed. And I do ping. Here's the request object. I'm going to back that up because it's very bright. Oh, cool. Okay, so this is all, yeah, this is all the information. Request, post, new bookmark, headers, host, accept language, accept encoding. There's all the stuff that came from my browser. Body. Unsync box body. Rust, Axum, get, post, data. Axum post handler with both app state and parameters. Ooh, interesting. I don't need an app state right now. I just need to get the post data. Try to implement post handler in Axum. I can't find anything beyond the most basic example. Official docs just says the signature. Route post to a given handler. That's not discussion forum. How do I put both state and handler signature? Not it. Global 404. Invalid route. There are people screaming at me to use AI right now. Axum redirects invalid route. Axum response. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Okay, well, that makes sense why it was showing me 404 stuff. It's on the wrong page. JSON form, query extractors, Tokyo, post JSON and Axum. It's a YouTube video. Extract. See it. It's the same thing. It's the same person. Cool. Post. Handling post request and request bodies. Okay, cool. Post servers, send JSON. Post, send message. Post, send message. This is picking up a JSON payload. Post send message. We define a route that listens for posts requests on send path. Right here. JSON payload. The JSON extractor automatically deserializes the incoming request body into a message struct. Does that mean... Where's the message struct? Message, hello. Application type JSON. See, this is sending. How do you send to form parts? JSON payload. Let's bring this back over for a second. Let me see what happens if we put JSON in. New bookmark. Here's the request. This did JSON payload. I don't totally understand this signature. Also, I don't understand where message is coming from. Message. Rust or Axum post form data. Try that. Form and Axum. Start form URL. Encode extractor response as extractor. If you use an extractor, form will deserialize from data. Okay, here we go. I don't know why I didn't get to this. If the request method has get or head, the form data will be on a query string. If the request has a different method, the form will be read from the body of the request. It must have had a content type. Axum form. This matches how HTML forms are sent by browsers by default. In both cases, the intertype T must be deserialized. Okay, since parsing from form data might require consuming the request body, the form extractor must be last if there are multiple extractors in the handlers. Okay, order extractors. That makes sense. So here is how we're going to do the request. Okay, cool. Axum form. And again, I'm going to actually add this. I'm about to use this, but we're going to turn that on for now. So here, what we want to do form sign up, and then here what we need to do is make a struct, right? struct sign up. This isn't going to be right, but we're going to get there. So Serde, we do need to add Serde. Cargo add Serde. I forget what the deserialize one is. We're going to go steal that. Features derive, I think is what I'm looking for. Run this here, PQRST, MOPQRST. Save. Form sign up, and then here we're going to do derive serialize, and then this needs to have use Serde to serialize. Sign up. Cannot find what? Sign up. Sometimes my things go backwards. Cannot find value request in this scope. Debug request. Oh, right. Yep, that's gone. Hello. Starting. Okay, cool. So this is going to be bookmark. And right now it's just going to be URL. It's going to be a string. And this is going to be bookmark. And I guess I can change this. I don't really know where that comes into play yet. Probably down here, form bookmark. I don't understand the signature yet. I don't understand how that works. Like, I think I get it. This is going to be a bookmark down here, right? So we do debug bookmark. Content, new bookmark post. Okay, what is that? Nope. Ooh. Oh, we got to have debug. Drive, debug. Cool. So now failed to deserialize, missing body field URL. Oh, okay, cool. Right. Because our page doesn't have a URL in it. Did that just format? I don't know, maybe. Back up, refresh, submit. There you go. And then did we see bookmark, ping? Okay. Right, so it's just populating that. Like, it's giving me a form object that goes with bookmark, and then that's moving into the struct of bookmark. I kind of get it. I don't totally understand the mechanism yet of how this works here as compared to just like this. Like, I guess you're casting it into a form type or something. I don't know. I need to look more into that signature. But this is good, right? Because this gives us the basic pull for it. Just drop that down one line. Doesn't really matter. But so if we have that gives us the data, right? Because we see this right here, which is what we're looking for. So I want to be able to get that data. Perfect. Now we just need to set up for a redirect. So getting post data, getting form post data. I want to make this I want to make a snippet of this as a specific post in the grimoire of this is how to do the post thing, because it took me a little while to figure that out, right? We can pull that out and make it nice and handy, and then figure out how to do error handling and all the other things. But here what we want to do is redirect. Response redirect. Response that redirects the request to another location. Redirect permanent to temporary. Creates a redirect. 307. The same bit redirect to, except it will preserve the original HTTP method and body. Header value. So I think we want to do, it's been a long time since I've done this, but I think we just want to do a temporary redirect, right? Like, once you get the post value, create a new redirect that uses 303C other status code. Oh, interesting. This redirects instructs the clients to change the method to get for the subsequent request to the given URI, which is useful after successful form submission. Got it. File upload. Or we generally don't want the redirected to page to observe the original request for the method body. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. If you want to preserve the request, use temporary. Should be used instead. Okay. So exactly what we want. So here we want to do use Axum. I'll combine all these later. Response redirect. Here we're going to return a redirect, right? So new bookmark from post, we're going to do redirect. And then here, we're not going to pull content. We're going to do redirect to new bookmark. So what should happen is when I hit this, we should see the debug show up here because we have this here, and it should just come back to this page. Aha, perfect. It's been a long time since I've looked at like the CRUD app calls. I think really what I want to do, because you can go to new bookmark, but really what we want to do is go to like a bookmark added page. And like we could do that on new bookmark, like we could flip it around or whatever. But I think really what we want to do is do bookmark added. I need to look at like the actual, like there's kind of standardized CRUD, like where you put the files and how the things work. And there's different methods other than get and post. They kind of freak me out, frankly, because it seems like, I don't know. I'm only used to seeing get and post happen, but then like the ways that you call them differently end up being like delete and create or whatever. But let's do this to start with. So doing initial redirect. New redirect. Okay, so here what we want to do is we're going to go into our templates and we're going to go new bookmark added HTML. We can actually remove that one and do bookmark was added. Bookmark was added. And then back over here, we want to get this, which we can actually do homepage one. So here's new bookmark added. New bookmark added. HTML content, cool. And here what we want to do is we need to call this. So there's route, new bookmark. And then we want to just grab these here. We're not going to do a get this time. We're going to do new bookmark added. New bookmark added. Wait, what happened? Main panicked. Overlap method route. New bookmark already exists. That's because I didn't do this. So now, if I click this, what I'm expecting to have happen is we'll see the debug message show up here, and then this is going to go to the new bookmark added page. The debug definitely showed up. We did not make it to the new bookmark added page. That might be because I didn't know. New bookmark added, right? That's that. bookmark added, new bookmark added. Why not? Confused about that. So there's the thing. So we're seeing it ping. Why didn't it go? Oh, right. How about now? Starting. Bookmark was added. There's our basic setup. Dig it. Because now what I've got is the payload coming in. We're redirecting over to the other thing. And like over here, we can go to ahref equals, whoops, slash new bookmark, add another bookmark. Might as well wrap it in div. To refresh, add another bookmark. Yeah, realistically, you don't want to go specifically to that page because like you don't want to bookmark that new page. Like I know that that's not actually what you want to do. Like this shouldn't be its own page. That's just for me to get my head around it to start with. Realistically, what we actually want to do is go back to that new bookmark page and then just have some type of messaging come up to say like bookmark added or whatever. And so you can set cookies to do that. You could actually do that on the server side. Right? Because what we could do when we do the redirect, is there a way, how would you do that? Can you do that statelessly while still having, I got to look into that. It's been a long time since I've messed with that. I don't know, like, because HTML is stateless, as far as I know, used to be. So I don't know that there's a way to like post that message that isn't like a JavaScript or cookie based thing. I mean, sorry, cookie based thing. So you could set a cookie. It just has to return the cookies, basically what it is. But like browsers, like if you're not doing cookies going to your origin, like that's a whole nother level of like, I'm not going to fight for that. Also, like this is my thing, so it doesn't matter. I'm also thinking about this for longer. Like in general, I want to know how this works in case I ever do this stuff for a bigger audience or whatever. But realistically, what you could do, and like there's all kinds of security things that happen in here that I'm not into, I'm not versed with at the moment, but like what you would do, or like one way to approach this is you could set a cookie, right? So when it goes, you set a cookie that says like success, and then you redirect back to the new bookmark page. I'm actually just going to do that for right now. Like we're going to work towards that. Actually, you know what? I think what I'm going to do, this is in a pretty good place. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one here. But this is working, right? So cool. Add another bookmark ping, and we're seeing the ping down there. So we're like we've made a form. Sorry, we set up a server. We're putting a form on the web page that we can get to. We're sending data across back to the server from the form. We're catching that data and then sending a redirect. Next step is going to be polishing that a little bit, but I think I'm going to save that for the next video. For now, I think this is a pretty good place to end this one. So let's do a last, whoops. git commit. So getting data coming in. Yeah, and we can leave this one here. So appreciate y'all hanging out. Hope you have a good one. We'll do it again soon. Check back for part 2. Till then, be fun, be fun. I don't know, be cool, have fun, be kind. See you.